when I went to school, but there was the library. Then once in a while I could go to the cinema. We had 2 TV stations at that time. So the platforms that I could engage in was not that many. Now children are faced with 2 million platforms of entertainment. And what does teachers they try to do? They try to teach them boring stuff. And of course they get distracted. I can't say if that's not a great learning method, but it is an extremely boring learning method.
What I really think is horrible is that there is nothing in the grade system that measures our students' amount of knowledge and social understanding. We actually have students who are having a hard time understanding that it's a school, and they get worried that I don't learn enough stuff because I have so much fun. And for many of them, fun and learning are 2 different things. So it's actually quite fun sometimes to try and explain to them that you can actually learn while having fun, and that's actually how it should be.
I dag der holder vi det lidt i temaet med, at der har været sådan en organisation, der hedder Occupy Wall Street, mod spekulationer på finansmarkeder, og det betyder, at vi skal have noget politibetjent ud og fjerne demonstranter. Kom nu! Der er ingen af de der! Alt det der fuldtog, hvor man sidder med hinanden og holder. Godt. Politi! Jeg tager tiden nu! Okay, I skal have bare ikke for jer!
I got involved in this project when the school opened 6 years ago. My finals, they were about media and communication, and I started viewing roleplay as a medium. It was very flexible compared to other mediums.
We have a method that where we have 2 groups of teachers. One group is preparing for 1 week and then having the whole school for educational purpose, their learning game, and then they switch with the other team.
The theme for this week's lessons is to learn how the economics work in the real life.
It is capital. It's about money and money and money.
Usually our weeks are a lot more simple than this, but it's about economics and budgets and stuff like that.
You learn about how that works, how the banks work, how the money gets around in the system.
The curriculum would be taught in these 3 1 hour, 40 minutes lessons, using, of course, a role-playing game setting. And then within that framework, in that setting, you give them a role, and you just don't give them any role. You give them a role that has some kind of influence on what's happening.
We are all representing a chain in the financial system, mainly in a US Wall Street perspective.
You get to experience being many different personalities. It's like when you go to work and at home you might be 2 different persons. When you go to war, if you are like a soldier, you're not the same as when you're at home. But most people aren't aware of that. You get aware of that when you roleplay. At my old school, it was like I was sitting, doing nothing in class. Up here, they actually made it possible for me to think math was a lot of. It was part of the game, and I really wanted to finish the game. So
It's not a boring school where you need to be forced to do your things. No, it's a fun school where you actually do stuff that you enjoy and learn from that. And I really hate the normal school. The way you are getting forced to do things that you don't really need in life, but they tell you that you need it.
Our strongest pedagogic tool is actually culture.
So they all have interests in common, and they all have narrative universes in common, so they can speak about a lot of stuff together.
If we put them all in one category and just call them nerds, we can do that. It's not a negative word, it's a positive word.
I think it's the bond you make with your friends, because you live so close together. You get to know each other's weaknesses and strengths.
I like them. Because they're just like me. When you're in a normal school, there aren't many people like that.
When you put other teenagers together, they don't necessarily have a common ground to meet on, and I think basically that leads to frustration, it leads to bullying, it leads to a lot of stuff, because they can't find a common ground to stand on.
March! Venstre, højre, venstre. Venstre, 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 højre, venstre.
Jeg har ikke været at tabe missioner på grund af short.
Many people who roleplay is like people that have problems.
We've seen there is a lot of students that have, what could we call it, OCD or something like that. We do not throw people away, we take everyone to us.
Our special needs students are part of the school, just like everybody else. Some people say that playing role-playing games removes you from reality, but if you are a special needs student, it actually works the other way around, because you learn how to handle yourself in a social context by small, very concrete examples. And the point is that they take these experiences and move into their own lives.
We did not just read about things or heard about them. We experienced a lot of things.
You have to be secure to learn things and to live your life.
Yeah.
And you have to build that security around children. And if they didn't have that where they were before, if we can build security around them, they will evolve and develop and live.
That's the thing many of us up here has experienced. Where we came from, many people were not accepted.
I was one of the kids that bullied the others because I had problems.
I had a lot of troubles in school. Been on, now it's about 8 different kind of schools, so I've moved a lot around.
And when they come to this school, something happens, because they realize that they're not alone in the world.
I have a lot of friends up here. The teachers they love their job up here. You can see it. This is their hobby. It's not just their work. I have never been more motivated in my education.
I am much more accepted here than I was in the last school. Yes, I was not a nerd or something in the last school. I wasn't. They didn't really remember me, so I weren't an important person at all. But when I come up here, I feel, loved, because it's much more of a family up here than it is a school. We fit together. So when you come up here, it's a relief.
We produce students that are flexible and adaptable and who are ready to handle sudden changes and who understand social mechanics and who would theoretically be able to work with creating their own jobs. This is what society needs.
You enter into a universe, and if it catches you, you start getting interested and then you learn, of course.
I, for myself, would not really live in a world where I only can play one character. I really learn from LARPing.
My ambitions is actually, this may sound a little bit funny, but I want to open my own role-playing shop. To open this little game corner where you come playing games, enjoying being a child for like 2 hours a day, which I think is a treasure that most people have forgotten.